The 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Beautiful Clearwater, Florida. Great day to be out on the boat. Just saying, perfect day. 73 degrees, sunny, a light breeze, and we've got some more great softball. A top 20 matchup. Nebraska coming off a win earlier today over LSU. Georgia looking for a response after dropping their first game to Oklahoma State. Alongside the former SEC Player of the Year, Madison Shipman, I'm Chucky Kemp. Nebraska has their eyes set on one place. It's Oklahoma City. It's still early, Madison, but what have you seen from them the first couple of weeks?
A hunger, no doubt about it. This is a team that last year was just one win away from advancing to Oklahoma City, and there's a lot of returners on this year's team from last year, so you know that they came into this season hungry, ready to compete, and for them, it all starts in the circle and with their leadoff batter, Jordy Fromm. She is somebody who sets the table for them. She's an emotional leader, and you're going to see that fiery competitiveness from her every single time that she steps out onto the field. And in game one earlier today, their matchup against LSU, not only did she come up with a couple of big hits and some RBIs, but she also came in relief in that ball game and ended up securing that victory over the Tigers. And I love that last shot there. The first person out of the dugout to congratulate Jordy Fromm on that win is Alexis Jensen, their freshman, who we're going to see out there in the circle for Nebraska today. And she's somebody else who brings that firepower. And Chucky, speaking of firepower, we started to see that from this Georgia offense at the tail end of game one today. They ended up losing to Oklahoma State, but they started to make a comeback late in that ball game. A lot of doubles. Almost felt like the tale of two completely different ball games wrapped up into one for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Had a stretch of 5 extra base hits in 10 batters. Addison Fisher hoping they keep that going. A transfer from UCLA, just spent the 1 year there, but was excellent as a true freshman. 16 wins, a 2.59 ERA. It was a big loss for the Bruins, but a huge gain for this Georgia pitching staff.
It's going to be big for them moving forward, just to have that versatility along with their pitching staff. And she's somebody who we know is going to bring the heat upper 60s consistently and has that heavy drop in the bottom part of the zone.
Ball one to Jordy Fromm, formerly Jordy Ball, of course, at the top of this order. You see really 1 through 9 dangerous. Samantha Bland was great earlier today. Ground ball left side is taken care of by Lindemuth for a quick out number 1 for Addison Fisher.
Bland coming through earlier in the game, earlier today, I think is big for this entire lineup for the Huskers, too, to be able to lengthen the lineup so that you're not just depending on 1 or 2 batters to come through every single time.
Feels like every batter that comes to the plate for Nebraska is a two-way player. That was Hannah Kamensend, and on 3 pitches, Addison Fisher has 2 outs.
Really, before I've even gotten a chance to say that the defense needs to be able to have Addison Fisher's back today, they already have had that in the first 2 ground ball plays that we've seen so far in this ball game. Going to be a common theme when you have Fisher out there in the circle throwing those drop balls.
Common theme, it seemed like, among some of the top teams in the country last year. Even though Nebraska returned so much production, they still look to strengthen, not just with their freshmen, but in the portal. This is Jessie Farrell, their catcher from Henderson, Nevada. Transferred from UNLV, was second team All-Mountain West a season ago. 26 doubles and 19 home runs in 2 years at UNLV. And here is another extra base hit for Farrell. Kind of stumbled around first base, but she cruises into second with a 2-out double. She is on. Let's take a look at your keys to the game for this one, Madison.
Keys to the game for the Nebraska Huskers, for me, is going to be capitalizing on opportunities. We saw them take advantage of a couple of defensive miscues in game one earlier today against LSU, where they were able to drive those runs in. That's something they need to continue to do here against Georgia. And for Georgia, limit the free passes. 7 walks in game one for the Georgia pitching staff. Cannot give extra chances to this lineup.
So your keys to the game brought to you by Shriners Children's Hospital. Strike one to the shortstop, Ava Cusack from Bloomfield, Colorado. Had just 2 hits on opening weekend. They came against Texas, including a 3-run home run. As a quick conversation here between the pitching coach, Chelsea Wilkinson, and Fisher. A lot of new for Chelsea Wilkinson, too. You always talk about the production these players can offer, but also a pitching coach who has a lot of new arms to deal with this year.
A lot of new arms and pitches that are moving in different directions. Chelsea Wilkinson a phenomenal pitcher at her time at Georgia, working with all of these different arms, especially working on some of those off-speed pitches too. She was well known for that off-speed rise ball that she would throw in there. So to be able to teach some of those skills to the pitchers on this staff, you've heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again. Having an off-speed, having a changeup is so crucial for these pitchers across the country.
Kind of in on the hands. This is an awkward place, and popped out of the glove for just a moment of Roos, but makes the catch. And it's a clean first inning for the UCLA transfer, Addison Fisher.
Got a little tricky on this fly ball out towards right field, but Kirsten Roos able to track it all the way into the glove. Maybe pops out for a second, but she's got it, no problem.
A beautiful day in Clearwater. We still got to get to the beach. It's on our to-do list.
Yes. A couple of games in between there, though.
Just a few. 6 today, 13 tomorrow, and on we go. How about this? Alexis Jensen threw earlier today against LSU, picked up the win. 4 innings, just 2 base runners, a base hit and a walk, and struck out 7. She gets the start again tonight. Ball 1 to the leadoff, Kirsten Roos. What are we going to see from Jensen?
Going to see her work with a lot of upspin with her pitches. She has that screwball, curveball, rise ball combination, but to me, it's that changeup. That changeup is absolutely devastating with the way that she sells it to these batters.
Roos underneath this to deep right center field and carrying it, gone! Kirsten Roos leads it off with a solo shot. Her second as a Bulldog.
We saw the Georgia offense at the end of that Oklahoma State game start to come alive, and Kirsten Roos getting things going for the Bulldogs here against Nebraska. This is a rise ball working up in the zone, ends up more over the middle of the plate, but almost to the letters. This is a great swing, the way that she goes after this pitch up at the top of the zone. She doesn't go on top of it, but she gets underneath that ball, gets that backspin, and that ball carries all the way out over the center field fence.
Had a double earlier today, lifts that one even further. Transfer from Coastal Carolina, 4 years there, 3 as a starter, missed most of 2024, but returned last year, had a great season, and now will finish her career in Athens. Strike 1 to Delaney Sullivan in the 2 spot. Really a spark plug earlier today.
Yeah, I really went back through and I highlighted her at bat that she had in the bottom of the 6th inning against Ruby Malin. She ended up getting a base hit, a hard line drive to the right side, and to me, I felt like that really sparked the rest of this Georgia offense. And like we talked about, they ended up going on a run at the end of the game, put up a couple of runs, got really close. To me, it all came down to that one swing, that one at bat by Sullivan, where she was down in the count, 2 strikes, but she managed to find her way on.
Jensen didn't give up a hit until the 4th inning earlier today against LSU, and I mentioned just the 1. She gets Sullivan on strikes for out number 1.
Good way to bounce back, too. If you're Jensen, after giving up that home run to Roos, you want to come back and immediately sit down the very next batter. You see where Sullivan is. Her toes are right on that chalk line, but still Jensen able to work that rise ball to get the swing and miss.
Now to Jaden Goodwin, 0 for 3 earlier today with a walk. Georgia's biggest returning bat fouls that straight back. Majority of this lineup for Georgia does come back. Jaden Goodwin, Sarah Gordon, a couple of the big names. They did lose, though, Dallas Goodnight, who such a electric player for them. Great average, stole 30 bases, and then Lindy Ray Davis, another one. A couple names that were, I think everyone in the SEC was really familiar with at Georgia. Certainly Tony Baldwin was when he was penciling in the lineups. 3 straight super regional appearances. One to Goodwin. 2-1.
Just feels like an offense, too, that's trying to get back to the way that we associate Georgia softball with, right? All of those home runs and those doubles that are going to the right side or the opposite field side if you're a right-handed batter, opposite field for the left-handed batters, and we're seeing that already. I know it's a small sample size, but we're seeing it from this offense.
Off the handle on the infield, taken care of by Cusack. 2 outs. 85% of their home runs came back from a year ago. Goodwin had 12 of them. She led the way. Pitching is a lot different.
Yes. Lily Backus was fantastic for them last year, another left-handed pitcher for them. But being able to add in a bunch of different arms, a bunch of different looks, and you hear that not just from Coach Tony Baldwin, but coaches across the country just trying to add to the versatility of arms that they have in the circle to do whatever they can to try to hold offenses at bay. Because it's not easy. With all the scouting reports and all the machines, we hear about machines all over the place. I know that Coach Jerry Glasgow for Texas Tech had his machine shipped down here. So there's always something that these coaches can do to try to prepare their hitters for the pitchers that they're going to face. But what can you do on the flip side as a pitcher to try to mix things up a bit?
Strike 2 from Jensen to Tyler Ellison. Is the ceiling higher for this Georgia pitching staff this year?
I think in the sense of the versatility, I think that you're going to see it be a lot more challenging for teams to have to prepare for this Georgia pitching staff. And like I said earlier, Lily Backus did a phenomenal job, but between Randy Rolling and Lily Backus, you had 2 pitchers that pitched very similarly. Both left-handed throwers, both kind of working the eye level up and down. And now you have somebody like Addison Fisher, who's coming from the right side, who throws down in the zone to just add to the difficulty for the opponent.
Battle brewing here between Jensen and Ellison. Jensen, of course, a true freshman from Gretna, Nebraska. 2-time Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year. All kinds of Gretna program records, including batting average. It's not just in the circle for her. 2-2. Hard hit ground ball. It hopped up, but trying to stay with it, and they got her. What a play over at second by Kamenzen. That jumped up and got her, but just shuffled it across for the out. 1-0 after 1. We've already seen some fantastic games. How about that finish? Texas Tech game just moments ago. It looked like Florida State might have hit a 2-run home run to completely change the game, and it was caught at the wall and a double play to end it.
Logan Halliman had just come into the game, too, in the 5th inning to pinch run for Jazzy Burns, and she's out there in the 7th, makes a great catch up against the wall and throws it all the way back in for the game-ending double play.
We had a great one earlier. Georgia, Oklahoma State. Looked like Oklahoma State was going to run away with it. 6-0 going to the 6th inning, and it ends up 6-5.
A lot of doubles. Double after double after double from this Georgia offense. I will say, though, Chucky, for as much as I love doubles and home runs, we have seen some really good defense so far. Even that play to end that last half inning by Lauren Kamenzen, not an easy play, especially when that ball takes that nasty hop on you right at the last minute.
Emerson Cope goes down swinging. First strikeout for Addison Fisher, who took just 8 pitches. 6 of them were strikes in the first inning.
Addison is not wasting any time at all. She is going straight after these Nebraska batters, and you can see that true 12-6 rotation, just rotating over the top to get that downward movement on that drop ball.
Strike 1 to Samantha Bland, the third baseman from Chino Hills, California. And offensive improvements last year in a number of categories. Now Fisher with a little PFP. 2 outs.
I gotta say, Addison Fisher's being so efficient. She's not even giving us enough time to talk about her efficiency. Just going right after these batters.
Now batting the right fielder, number 14, Casey Hoffman.
Here is Casey Hoffman, who's trying to break up this efficient start. 14 pitches for 5 outs. Check swing, and did she go? She did. That just misses from Fisher, 1-1. Nebraska, the perfect start earlier today, 6-0 win over LSU. Now they get Georgia. They still have 2 top 3 matchups to go. They play Tennessee tomorrow, and they play Texas Tech Sunday night in what will be Really one of the best non-conference games you could possibly ask for.
And even this non-conference schedule for Coach Revelle, too, between the games that they're playing here down in Clearwater and also the games that they played last weekend against Texas and Washington. She is throwing her team right out there into the fire.
Rhonda Revelle, 34 years in as the head coach at Nebraska. She's closing in on 1,200 career wins. They've gone to 3 Women's College World Series, and that's what they're chasing. Number 4 under Coach Revelle. The last one was in 2013, of course. Taylor and Tatum Edwards leading the charge as the pitcher-catcher twin duo. 3-1's in there for a strike. It's not just Rhonda Revelle that's been there forever. Lori Sipple is in year 37. Diane Miller's been there 18 years. So those 3 have been together 18 years. Slow roller right side and taken care of by the freshman Novickas at first base. Addison Fisher came to play. Bottom of the second we go. Georgia up 1. This fantastic event returning for the 7th time to this facility. Jensen starts the inning off with strike 1 to Sarah Gordon. One big swing in this game, and it was right out of the gates. Kirsten Roos, solo shot. Ground ball left side, that's a fair ball, and it's going to be extra bases for Gordon down into the corner. Just a machine of doubles is this lineup.
It has been doubles all day for the Georgia Bulldogs. And with that, Coach Rhonda Revelle is going to come out and have a conversation with Alexis Jensen. This is another one of those rise balls that's working in on the hands of Sarah Gordon, but she gets her hands out in front enough to literally bounce that ball straight over third base, all the way down that left field line, and to allow her to get easily over into scoring position. You know, Chucky, I wonder, too, with as aggressive as Georgia has been up at the plate, I would not be surprised if we start to see more and more of those changeups from Jensen, even first pitch changeups, back-to-back changeups, just doing whatever she can to try to see if she can change the game plan up against Georgia, who's been very aggressive early in the count.
Here's the freshman, Gabby Novickas. Chicago, Illinois native, went to Marist High School. Really like her defensively over at first base, but getting a chance here. She was 2 for 3 on opening weekend, 0 for 1 in the game earlier today that she entered at first defensively and way out in front of the off speed.
Yeah, there's that changeup, 50 miles per hour, and you can see how effective it is too, because Novickas, that ball bounced down into the dirt and she still swung over top of it. It's one of those changeups that to me feels like there's a ton of spin on it, so it feels like it's coming in faster than it is.
Goes up and gets this, nice play, and the throw is in time. Ava Cusack showing off the leather and the arm.
Love to see all this incredible defense early in the season, because when you have your pitchers working out there, you need to have their backs defensively. Cusack going all the way over to the 5-6 hole, gets it on the backhand, slides on her knees, but it's how quickly she popped back up to her feet is what allowed her to make that throw across the diamond.
Now the lefty-lefty matchup with Natalie Ray at the plate, a senior from Covington, Georgia. Not entirely a stranger to the SEC, played her first year at Ole Miss and then the last 2 years at North Georgia, but finishing off as a Georgia Bulldog. One count. Ray had 1 hit on opening weekend, walked a couple times as well. Ball 2. Good pitch for strike 2.
Working that pitch on the inner half I wonder, too, if they were maybe thinking, Natalie Ray was thinking maybe she might see a changeup in there, but since she showed bunt earlier in the at-bat, I think it was smart that they stayed away from the changeup because that can be an easier pitch to bunt.
2-2, the off speed.
There it is. There it is. Get her to 2 strikes, and then you pull the string on it, and that pitch is straight filth coming out of the hand of Alexis Jensen. The way she sells it, the way she releases it, and that topspin on it, too. Looks like it's coming in about 63 miles per hour. By the time you see it, it's too late.
Last chance is Emily Digby after the leadoff double by Sarah Gordon. Another strike.
Love it. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Oftentimes, hitters don't necessarily want to go up there and hunt that pitch early in the count. So if you can get it in there for strikes, all of a sudden, instead of being behind 2-0, now you're going to find yourself ahead in the count.
And chases upstairs 0-2. So what are you going with here? Sure, put you in the circle for a second.
So I think I'd go back upstairs with the rise again and then come in with the changeup.
Okay.
If you get to that pitch.
Madison Shipman, the pitching coach. 0-2.
See, and that's why I'm not a pitching coach right there.
A short-lived pitching coach.
And my job ended right there on the spot.
Jensen still way ahead, 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Georgia 9 for their last 18, a home run, 4 doubles, 6 runs, dating back to our game a few hours ago against Oklahoma State. Foul ball.
I keep wanting to say our game yesterday because I feel like there's been so much that has happened in the game since then, but it was just a few hours ago. And so much more softball in store for us this weekend.
Yeah, I'm loving the numbers of like how these 40 games break down. 2-2, another foul ball.
I'm glad you love the numbers because I let you do all the math for us up here in the booth. And our wonderful statistician, Karen Johns, as well.
That's right. Well taken care of here in Clearwater.
Without a doubt. I'm feeling a change up here, Chucky. I'm going for it. Trying to get my job back here.
Trying to earn the audience's trust. There it is, but it's lifted to left center field. Carrying, and it's gone! Emily Digby.
That ball is out of here. 2-run home run for the shortstop, Emily Digby.
What a battle from Emily Digby. Just continued to fight and fight, being down 0-2 in the count. Fouled off a couple of pitches, and it seems like Emily Digby and I were on the same page, had a feeling that a changeup was coming, and she is all over this one. Low in the zone, gets her barrel out in front of her, and just cranks it out to center field. And another 2-strike home run that's been given up by Alexis Jensen this year. Talking to Coach Ravel last weekend in their opening weekend. Couple of home runs again with 2 strikes, and we saw another one there.
Fouled straight back by Bailey Lindemuth. That's the second of the season for Emily Digby. She had 7 home runs a couple of years ago as a freshman. Power dropped last year. She only had 3, but her average went up. And now trying to find that power again at the plate. Strike to Lindemuth to fall behind 0-2. There's so much talk about all the Texas Tech transfers who came in. Bailey Lindemuth is one who went out. Had a great freshman season, but now donning the Georgia Bulldogs uniform. Fouled straight back off Jensen. A 3-0 lead is not going to deter Nebraska. This is a team that you could argue has been tested as much as anybody in the country over the first week. 2 games with Texas, split those. 2 with Washington, split those as well. And then, of course, all you're going to get here is tests. Inside, Lindemuth saying she got just a piece of it. I got our home plate umpire, Chelsea Clark. Tony Baldwin's going to check on her behind the plate.
I thought I heard it hit somebody. I didn't realize that hit the home plate umpire on its way back. Looks like she's all right.
Chelsea Clark, Jim Cooper, Lyndon Baptiste, our crew for this game. 0-2 in the dirt. I just want to revisit that. You said that you and Digby were on the same page, but you wanted the changeup as the pitching coach, not as the hitter. So
maybe both.
Is
it cheating if I say both?
There it is. It loops in.
Ooh.
And they're going to say a little bit high.
Jensen took a couple of steps over towards the dugout. I thought it was strike 3 as well.
Ooh.
If it missed, it did not miss by much.
And the move did not go 3-2. Digby's home run came on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. This is the 8th pitch of this at-bat, and man, that hit Farrell right in the mask and barely got touched. Bailey Lindemuth not making any friends right now in the batter's box.
It's been a tough at-bat for Chelsea Clark back behind home plate and Jessie Farrell. I feel like I've seen smiles on both of their faces, so they seem to be okay. Getting back in there.
Another 3-2. And Jensen, nope, foul ball. Like she got her again. There have been some very minor tips in this at bat.
I mean, she had to reach all the way out there into the other batter's box. Did she tip it, though? Hard to tell from that view.
That one is fouled straight back. I'm not sure about that last one.
Yeah, if you're Bailey Lindemuth, though, you're going to take it. You want another pitch. It's too late now. She's back in there.
Pitch number 11 from Alexis Jensen. Up the middle, base hit. What an at-bat from Lindemuth.
Back-to-back at-bats now that have just been absolute battles by these Georgia batters. Fouling off pitches, barely fouling off pitches, fighting off changeups, fighting off rise balls to finally get something that you can get some solid barrel on. Really good swing here by Bailey Lindemuth. Taking that pitch that was low and inside, you could see her hands staying inside of that ball to be able to drive it back up the middle.
Back to the top of the order, Kirsten Roos, who hit the solo home run to start off the bottom of the first. An 0-1 count coming from Alexis Jensen. That's fouled off. I mean, just think about, if you're Alexis Jensen, how you have to feel with what this coaching staff has given you the opportunity to do. The trust they've shown in her early. She started against Texas. She started against Washington. She started against LSU and now against Georgia. Like, you talk about really getting thrown in the fire, but that has to come from a place of trust from Rhonda Revelle and Lori Sipple.
Without a doubt. And being able to throw her out there over and over again, too, speaks to who she is out there in the circle.
So he's fouled up and out of play. No doubt she's going to be a huge part of this, but Kirsten Roos got the best of her earlier.
Really good swing on this pitch, up and away. See how she lets that ball travel deep instead of getting her barrel out and around it. Her barrel is behind her hands, and that's where she's able to get that extension to drive that ball over center field.
Swing and a miss from Roos. Jensen fired up, but a couple more runs come across.
Emily Digby coming through in the clutch yet again for the Georgia Bulldogs after a battle of an at-bat. Gets this changeup low in the zone, blasts it to extend the Bulldogs' lead.
Hannah Core set to lead off the inning for the Huskers, transferred from Oklahoma. 4 years, 3 national titles, 2 of them with Jordy Fromm at Oklahoma. Then she was a bridesmaid in Jordy's wedding, and of course Jordy showed up on her recruiting visit to Lincoln. These two were roommates for 2 years when Jordy was at Nebraska, and Hannah Core said, look, it was a chance to reunite with my best friend, and it just felt like home. She loved Coach Ravel and the connection they made, but it also helps when your best buddy's on the team.
Now, how cool for both of these athletes to be able to share so many incredible experiences together, and now the two of them are out there hunting to win a national championship this year with Nebraska.
So close to making it to Oklahoma City a year ago, lost it Tennessee in Supers, won game 1, and then lost games 2 and 3 by a run each.
Heartbreaking losses, right, if you're Nebraska, to be that close. But on the flip side, you can look at it from a positive lens, right, and say, we were that close. What do we need to do to get those extra runs, to get those extra wins? And this is a team, too, Chucky, you know, I've been talking about this Nebraska team. There is a fire, there is a hunger, there's an attitude and aggressiveness in the way that they play the game, and we've seen that early on this season. Whether it's the battle between them and Texas, what was that first game, 15-10, going back and forth. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to come out with a win every time, but the way that they approach the game, their swings, the defense, even trying to take extra bases, that to me is what has really stood out about this Nebraska squad.
That is in there for strike 3. Core goes down, second strikeout for Addison Fisher, who is just mowing them down right now.
How about that changeup by Addison Fisher, too? Seeing all those changeups from Jensen. She busts this one out, too. That same 12-6 rotation that you see from her drop ball, but now it's coming in about 10 miles per hour slower than that drop.
This is a base hit in the right center field. It's cut off by Sullivan, but Lauren Kamenzen coming through to set it up for the top of the order.
And I feel like that would be my game plan if I'm coaching this Nebraska team right now, going up against Addison Fisher, because she's getting ahead in the count. I almost feel like you have to go up there and match her aggression with aggressiveness on that back end. Try to go up there and hunt something early in the count. Get something that you can just drive to the grass.
Nice pitch on the inside corner for strike 1 to Jordy Fromm. One, Jordy chased it a little bit and falls behind 0-2. The accolades for Jordy Fromm are a little bit hilarious. Like, you could, pages worth. Her resume's not on one sheet as they tell you to make. It goes on for days. 3-time first team All-American, NFCA Division I Player of the Year last year, and almost paints the line in right field right here. Big Ten pitcher and player of the year last year.
I remember looking at her numbers, offensive numbers last year as the year was going on, and at times her numbers are so good, I look at them and I'm like, is that a typo? They are that good. Her numbers are that astronomical that you just sit there and she is just incredible to watch day after day.
Fisher ties her up. Pop out to the shortstop, Digby. 2 outs.
And to go along with the intensity, too, that she brings every single day. And from up here in the booth, to me, it feels like that intensity goes through the rest of the team. You wouldn't be able to help but feed off of that energy when she's out there in the circle or out there playing first base.
What's your best player on the team? You playing behind that at shortstop, what does that give you?
Oh, it fires you up. It's got to fire you up every single day. And you could see it, too, from Alexis Jensen and the way that she's getting fired up out there. And like we talked about earlier in the ballgame, too, having Alexis Jensen be the first one running out of the dugout when they won that game earlier today, to me, speaks volumes to the competitiveness that is throughout this entire dugout.
We've got, of course, a bird's eye view of it, but it just seems like a team that very much is together. Likes playing together, likes playing for their coaches. Another foul ball from Hannah Kamenzind. Sisters over at first base. Inside ball 2.
Hannah Kamenzind, 72, who had a really good year last year for Nebraska, too. Ended up with 10 home runs last season, already showing off some of that power this year. Had 2 home runs during opening weekend.
Played in every spot in the outfield last year. Made at least 9 starts in all 3 spots in the outfield. (3-2) from Fisher. Outside ball 4.
Pretty good location for that drop ball away from the lefty. Doesn't get the call on that one. Good take by Kamenzind to go ahead and take her base. Now a couple of runners on with 2 away.
Jessie Farrell got to get the catcher's gear off to come up to the plate. Doubled back in the first inning with 2 outs. Inside ball 1. Farrell homered in each of her first 2 games as a Husker.
One of those home runs coming off of Tegan Kavan, one of her rise balls from Texas. Jessie also had a really nice double out to center field with 2 outs versus LSU earlier this morning. One of the things, too, one of the plays that I highlighted from Jessie Farrell's games last weekend, too, is a base running play. She was over at third base, ended up drawing the throw on an infield ground ball, and because she drew the throw over there, the runner ended up being safe over at first base. So to me, those little things are plays that can really add up when you're a team that's chasing down a national championship.
Good conversation with Fisher. One of the first times she has not delivered a first pitch strike. 8 of the first 11 batters got a first pitch strike, but bounces back here. Strike 1. Two-one count. Inside. Mentioned the freebies for Georgia, something they gave up too many of in that first game against Oklahoma State. Foul ball to make it a full count. Into left field, into the corner, off the wall. 1 run will score, and it's an RBI double for Farrell.
Really good swing there by Jessie Farrell, and you could tell that she's making adjustments throughout that entire at-bat, too. She finally gets something that she can handle. Another one of those drop balls that's more on the inner half of the plate, and she hammers this one almost over the wall in left field. Instead, it is just about, what, a foot or 2 short. Bounces off of that wall, but still another 2-out RBI, and the Huskers are working their way back in this one.
Finally getting to Addison Fisher as Georgia has a little bit of movement out in their bullpen down the left field line. Presley Harrison, the true freshman, is up and throwing. Outside ball 2 to the cleanup hitter, Cusack. (2-0) into left field, another base hit. Rhonda Ravel sending the runner, and she's going to be out at the plate. Nebraska does get 2. The Huskers trying to be aggressive, but they do cut it to just a 1-run lead.
Ava Cusack with the base hit out to left field, scoring 1, but it's Jaden Goodwin out there in left field for Georgia, mowing down the runner, trying to score at the plate. It's 3-2.
Results so far, of course, the Nebraska shutout of LSU. Tigers trying to bounce back right now. Oklahoma State had to fend off Georgia in that 5-run 6th and 7th inning and ended up winning by 1. And then Texas Tech, that was close. Walk-off double play to win it 3-2. Would have been a 2-run home run that was caught at the wall by Logan Halliman.
So far, some really good games, and I know it's only day 1. But even looking at that Oklahoma State-Georgia game, it really felt like Oklahoma State was in control majority of the game. A lot of that having to do with that 3-run home run by Amanda Hasler.
Kylie McGee, the new pitcher for Nebraska, junior from Anaheim, California. 2nd year with Nebraska. She was their 3rd most used arm a season ago. Spent her first couple years at Arizona State.
Looks like there's an extra rosin bag out there in the circle, so they're going to go ahead and toss that back over into the Georgia dugout.
And we're all set.
Yep, we got to make sure then. Jessie Farrell, too, back behind the plate, has the right armband. Looked like she ran back in there, made sure she's got the signs, and we are all ready to go.
Outside ball 1.
Going to see Kylie McGee throw with some pretty good velocity, mid-60s with that good spin on her pitches. Likes to work arm side a lot with that screwball, rise ball combination. Not afraid to work in on the hands of those righties.
2-3-4 is who she faces. Delaney Sullivan first. Strike on the outside corner. Two and 1. Sullivan 0-1 and 0-for-1 in this game with a strikeout in the first inning. All 3 runs for Georgia coming on the long ball. Solo shot from Roos and a 2-run shot from Digby. Foul ball for strike 2. And a new ball from the dugout. Two. Right side, that's going to get through. Down the line and right up against the tarp. Sullivan into second with a double.
Delaney Sullivan continues to really impress me with what she's been able to do with the bat. Typically, when we've seen her in the past, she's a transfer over from Kentucky. You think of Delaney Sullivan, you think about the short game, the bunts, the slaps, but really swinging away extremely well. Comes up with this nice double straight down that right field line, all the way over to the tarp in foul territory to get things going in the bottom of the 3rd.
Now Jaden Goodwin. Georgia's 3 for 3 in the leadoff spot in these first few frames. Scored in the first 2 innings. Trying to respond after Nebraska put up the 2 spot in the 3rd. Goodwin fouls it up and out of play.
Over towards the field behind us. A pretty good battle going on, too, between LSU and Oklahoma State. I believe back in the 6th inning, LSU was able to get out of a bases-loaded jam. UCF also in attendance, too.
Fresh off a win over Missouri just last night in Orlando. Goodwin lays down the bunt. That is pretty from Jaden Goodwin.
Just when this Georgia offense gets you thinking about the long ball, gets you thinking about the doubles, Jaden Goodwin lays down a perfect bunt right out in front of home plate. A little bit of backspin on this bunt too. Watch how it goes up and then kicks right backwards. McGee trying to make a play on it, does everything she can, but Goodwin's able to leg that one out.
Now Ellison, the cleanup, watches inside ball one. Tough spot here for Kylie McGee in her first inning of work. Ellison 2 for 4 in the game earlier today, including a home run. Ground ball left side, scooped up by Cusack. Throw to first, ball coming home, not in time. Great speed. No, she missed the base. She missed the bag. Tony Baldwin is asking for obstruction.
Chucky, watching that play live, I thought she got in there before the tag. Let's see another look at it here. Does her hand just go right into the leg of Jessie Farrell? I still thought that she got her hand in there before that tag was applied, even on the first attempt. I know her left hand goes right into the leg of Farrell here. I think her hand touches the plate there, and then again on the back end.
That is obstruction, though, is it not?
So you cannot be in front of the leading edge of the base without possession of the ball. So by definition, yes, that could be ruled obstruction, but there is no video review here in Clearwater. Right there where she's putting her leg down before she has possession, that would be considered obstruction. But I still think from our view here, and again, there's no video review, but from our view here, it looks like that left hand still gets in underneath her shin guard.
So this did change a little bit this year with obstruction, and so the way to basically simplify it, kind of what we were told, is contact or tag. And what we mean by that is if the catcher in this instance would have had the ball, you can basically do whatever you want at that point. You can go block the bag, doesn't matter. But if you are contacted without the ball in a position of obstruction, which is blocking the leading edge of the base, then it is still obstruction.
Yes, and to me, I do think that according to that rule and the new interpretation of the rule, Coach Tony Baldwin has an argument on this, because I would say that Delaney Sullivan's hand hit Jessie Farrell's leg before she applied the tag, and we already saw her leg was down in front of that leading edge before she had possession of the ball.
I saw a little fist pump from Tony Baldwin there, but he also...
So it looks like they are going to call it obstruction, and they are going to award Georgia the run. Now, ultimately, I think this is the right call. Watch Delaney Sullivan here. Looks like she's making contact with, well, one, it looks like to me, I know there's some dirt in the way. It looks like her hand's on the plate anyway, underneath the shin guard. But also, to your point, Chucky, she's making contact with Jessie Farrell's left leg before she has possession of that ball, which leads the call to be obstruction.
First one of the year for us.
First one of the year.
That was nice. It's kind of like in football. You just need to get hit.
Yep.
Like, we just need to get hit with an obstruction.
But you know my rule book's ready. I've got the rule book at the ready at all times. It flies with me everywhere.
Something about Lady Vols and rule books. I don't know.
Appendix G is coming to mind right now.
This is driven into right center field. That's going to hit the base of the wall. Another double for the Bulldogs. This time, Sarah Gordon.
2 doubles for Sarah Gordon on this game. Had a double back in the 2nd inning. Coming up here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, gets another double. Look at where this pitch is, though. This pitch is on the inner half of the plate, and yet she drives it the opposite direction. She drives it into that right center gap. That is exactly what Coach Tony Baldwin is looking for in his swings, to have that barrel be behind their hands to increase their margin for error when it comes to timing against those pitches.
Strike one from McGee to Gabby Novickas. Georgia has responded to the 2 from Nebraska with 2 of their own, and there's still just 1 out and a runner in scoring position. Novickus, foul. Over half their hits this year have been for extra bases. Lone loss entering this Clearwater Invitational was against the first-team All-American Maya Johnson in Belmont in Athens this past weekend. In the dirt, that is going to advance Gordon to third.
McGee trying to throw a changeup in there, just misses down in the dirt. You could see Farrell trying to move her body over there in front of that ball, but it just gets by her.
One, 2 fouls off of Novickus's leg. Did she go? She did. Out number 2.
McGee came back with another changeup, and it's another one that ends up bouncing right in front of Jessie Farrell back behind the plate. But good deception on this pitch, and that's why she's able to get the called swing by Novickus.
Outside ball 1 to Natalie Ray. This gets by the catcher, and it's going to score another run. Gordon got a great jump from third as it got past Farrell.
After a couple of those changeups down in the dirt, I'd imagine that every single base runner that gets on board for Georgia going to be very heads up of those balls that were to skip by Jessie Farrell, and it looks like she maybe just got a bit crossed up on this one, hits off of her glove, goes back to the backstop, and another run for the Bulldogs.
Everyone probably feels big to Tony Baldwin against this Nebraska team that such a dangerous lineup. Started to wake up in the top of the third. Inside, that's a 4-pitch walk to Natalie Ray in the 7 spot.
The shortstop, Emily Digby.
Here is Digby, 2-run shot just last inning. Over the last 5 innings, Georgia has 13 hits, 3 home runs, 6 doubles for a team whose offense was non-existent in the first 5 innings against Oklahoma State.
It was all just a matter of time, and it's so funny how hitting can be contagious. Sometimes it just takes that one swing or that one at-bat or that one ball to fall into the grass to all of a sudden feel like the floodgates have just opened up. Take a look at the home run that Emily Digby hit back in the 2nd inning. This one on a changeup low in the zone. Love the way that she's able to drop her barrel down to that pitch, be on time for the off speed, and blast it for a 2-run shot out to center field.
Down in the count 0-2 against McGee. Two. Inside corner, strike 3. But 3 more come across, and it's still the doubles for Georgia, who leads 6-2. Talk to Rhonda Ravel when we come back. Welcome back to the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Wrapping up day 1. We are now joined by Nebraska head coach Rhonda Ravel. Coach, down 4, but you guys have been tested as much as anyone in the country over these first couple weeks of the season. What'd you just tell your team in that huddle?
That we got to keep swinging. We were making really good contact last inning, and we just got to come out fighting and swinging and clawing and doing all the things.
Coach, we've been talking up here about this aggression and intensity that this team plays with. What is it that you see day in and day out that leads to that fierce competitiveness?
Well, we just try to go hard, but we also try to really play with a lot of joy. And so that aggressiveness hopefully is just because we love the game. I mean, we're getting to play softball.
Oh, and Coach, I mean that aggressiveness in the best possible way.
Thank you.
Absolute best possible way.
Thank you. Softball's fun. Softball's fun.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach.
If it weren't fun, she would not be here 34 years later.
So you can see my hand motions when I'm talking about the aggressiveness and the smile that I have, because I think that it is just so much fun to watch this team playing. I need to let Coach Ravel know about my hand expressions when I'm talking about their team.
I mean, it's fun to watch, though. It's exciting.
It really
is. It's entertainment, and so it's fun when you are watching this Nebraska team and Jordy Fromm gets a strikeout and stomps off the mound and pumps her fists.
And I think, too, on the flip side, what we've seen from this Georgia team, too, them showing their fierceness with their offensive power that we've seen really come on strong in the last several innings. And just the way that they have that pass-the-bat mentality and kind of feeding off of, especially those first few innings of this game with Addison Fisher out there in the circle, the way that she was just mowing down batters left and right.
A few weeks from now, you're kind of in the grind of the season. You're starting conference play and all that, but like right now, it just feels like an opportunity that these teams see, like, we can prove ourselves right now. And I don't know that they're necessarily worried about everybody on the outside, but why not? Why not show people what you're made of?
You almost get the feeling, too, that, of course, everybody wants to win. You want to win every single game that you go out there and play, but when you're at an invitational like this, there's much more to it than just the wins and losses.
Fisher gets the strikeout to start the 4th inning.
For Georgia example, you have a transfer like Addison Fisher coming over from UCLA. You get to see her going out here against some of the best teams across the country and what she can do for you and the way that she can adjust too. Really think it's important that she's able to get that strikeout right after her team puts up a couple of runs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
Fisher struggled a little bit in the 3rd, gave up those 2, had 8 of her last 12 pitches in that inning go for balls, and she was a strike machine out of the gates attacking. Here's a 1-1 count to Samantha Bland after the strikeout of Cope. Inside ball 2. Ground ball right side, just beyond the glove of Roos at 2nd.
Looked like Kirsten Roos was shaded up the middle a bit, a couple of steps over from second base, and because of that, Samantha Bland inside out at this pitch and drove it through the 3-4 hole, ends up letting that ball travel. Gets maybe jammed up a bit, but it's just out of the reach of the diving Roos because she was shaded up the middle.
Runner on first with 1 out for Casey Hoffman, who is talking right now with Rhonda Ravel. All smiles. Three hits and a walk for Nebraska in their last 5 at-bats. This is lifted to deep left field. Goodwin goes back, and it's off the wall. Extra bases for Casey Hoffman, and it sets up the Huskers with just 1 away.
Casey Hoffman is somebody that has so much power up the plate, and she gets this pitch. It looks like it's a drop ball on the outer half of the plate, but she is already toes on the chalk line, so that pitch to her doesn't look near as outside as it does when you look at that strike zone, but she just blasts this one over the head of Jaden Goodwin out in left field, hits off of the wall to allow her to get all the way over into scoring position, and now 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 away for Nebraska.
And a pinch hitter for the Huskers. It's a Lincoln native, junior Malia Tomes. Dakota Carter running at second base for Nebraska. There is ball 1 to Tomes. Lifted into deep center field. Sullivan goes back, now stepping in. It'll be a sacrifice fly. Nice job by Tomes to bring a run in.
Really nice job, too, by Tomes coming in off of the bench, too. Coming in to pinch hit. You've got 2 runners over in scoring position. What can you do to bring across a run? Finds herself ahead in the count, 1-0, gets something she can drive and hits it deep enough out into center field for that sac fly.
Out of the 9 spot, Lauren Kamensend. Single and a run scored. This is lifted to deep right center field and tail lane. It's a great running catch from Sullivan. Saves another run for the Bulldogs.
How about the day that Delaney Sullivan has had? A couple of doubles and some great defensive plays, including this one all the way up against the wall to end the inning and stop the rally for Nebraska.
Welcome back to the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Georgia leading Nebraska 6-3 here in game number 5 of 6 today. To start off this event, we're joined by Georgia head coach Tony Baldwin. Coach, a lot of new faces, especially on this pitching staff for you. Just have to ask Addison Fisher, what do you like most about what she's brought to the table?
She just has a belief in herself. And, if you're going to have one person on the field that has belief, it better be the person in the circle. And she's just got a belief in herself and then a pretty good drop ball to go with it.
Coach, we've been talking about this offense and really going back to your first game of the day, those last couple of innings, I felt like things got started off of the bat of Delaney Sullivan. They've carried over into this afternoon's game. What have you seen different from the beginning of the first game to your offense that you're seeing now?
Well, regardless of the outcomes of what we get out of this weekend, it's about finding our fight and what competing is like, and finding our guts fight, belief, courage, and heart. That's what Georgia's been about for a long time, and I thought we just kind of played softball those first few games, and this is too big of an opportunity in college softball to just play softball. You got to really put your heart and everything into it, and I thought we started to find that at the end of the second game, and proud of the way we're competing right now.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
I always thought of Georgia softball with a swagger. That's how I've always thought of the Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
I'll try and find it now against another new pitcher in the circle for Nebraska. Hannah Kamensend going to throw for the first time here in Clearwater this weekend. Second year at Nebraska, along with her sister Lauren. Started their careers at Arkansas. And brings it from the left side to face 9-1-2 for Georgia.
You're seeing Coach Ravel, too, use all the arms on her staff, going lefty, righty, and now back to a lefty with Kamensend. Has that drop ball changeup combination that works really well for her, really relies on her defense to make those plays behind her. And I think coming into this spot in the game, your offense trying to get something going on the other side, but for her is just to go out there and throw strikes. Force Georgia to put the bat on the ball. Do not give them any free passes.
6-3 lead, bottom of the 4th. Lindemuth fouls it down the right field line. Up high, ball 2. Years Hannah Camenzind was at Arkansas, just shy of 120 innings pitched for Courtney Deifel. Sub 3.2 ERA, was effective right out of the gates as a freshman. In the dirt, ball 3. It really is, it just looks different for Georgia at the plate after those first 5 innings today. Everything, not just the doubles, just approach in general. They look more comfortable.
You're not seeing them swing far outside of the zone.
In the air, foul territory, gets down.
And to me, that speaks to the batters almost feeling like they're the ones in the control of the at-bat. That's exactly how you want to feel as a hitter, and I know pitchers want to feel like they're in control of the at-bat, so maybe I'm talking from a bit of a hitter's standpoint, that I always like to feel that I was in control of the at-bat. Not to say that I didn't swing at a rise ball or 2 over my head, but I at least tried to go into the at-bats with the mindset that they were going to throw me what I wanted to see.
This is lifted to deep left center field from Linda Muth. What a grab! Hannah Core. Denial in center field.
Plays like that will absolutely put a smile on your pitcher's face. Hannah Core, who is shaded more over towards the right side of the field, has to run a long way, puts her right hand up on the fence so that she can feel where she's at, jumps up and grabs that ball right before it hits the fence, snagging extra bases away from Bailey Lindemuth.
Roos first pitch swinging, takes a real nice hop for the shortstop, Cusack. 2 outs. This is a veteran group, too. It's a senior Cusack at shortstop, senior Core in the outfield. Jordy Fromm, of course, a senior. There's a lot of upperclassmen to lead the way, and then you're bringing in some of these talented freshmen like an Alexis Jensen, who appears to be a key part of the plans for Rhonda Revelle and company this year. Only imagine where this team's going to be come May. 0-1 to Sullivan.
I know, Chucky, you and I have been talking a lot about schedules and how coaches choose to build their schedules for their teams, and I've got to imagine that these coaches are looking at what sort of upperclassmen and leadership they're going to have, because there's no doubt about it. This Nebraska out-of-conference schedule is an absolute gauntlet.
Slow roller right side. Fromm handles it. 1-2-3 for Camenzind out of the bullpen. And we have played 4 here in Clearwater. Legends are already here. We're having a blast in Clearwater. This is how we got here in this one. Great start for Georgia with that solo shot right out of the gates by Roos. Nebraska with 2 outs. That's how they've done all their scoring. 6 of their 8 runs on the day, or excuse me, 6 of their 9 runs on the day have come with 2 outs. And now the top of their order with Jordy Fromm leading things off, who is shockingly 0 for 2 today, at least in this game, and she takes ball 1 upstairs. New pitcher for the Georgia Bulldogs to face Fromm is Presley Harrison, a true freshman from Baxley, Georgia. Had a great opening weekend, 9 innings, just gave up 1 run.
Presley Harrison out there in the circle. You're going to see a lot of those screwballs that she's going to work on the arm side part of the plate. Good velocity, going to throw consistently in the mid-60s. Has that vertical separation, meaning that she's going to work both top and bottom of the zone. But I'm interested to see where she places that screwball with Jordy Fromm up at the plate. And I say that too because, Chucky, we have a great view of where Jordy Fromm is lining up in the batter's box, and she's got about a foot between her and the start of that chalk line, leaving a lot of space on the inner half for that screwball. And that's where, as a pitcher, do you throw to the plate or do you throw to where the batter is standing? And I feel like if you were to throw that screwball right on the inside corner of the plate, it's going to look right down the middle to somebody like Jordy Fromm. So you almost have to start working that pitch more on the inner half to get her to try to swing at those pitches that are off the plate.
Another 1-2.
Just like that. Perfect location right there, in on the hands of Jordy Fromm. Now she does a very good job of fighting off that pitch, but that's a spot that it's going to be really difficult for somebody to do damage on.
It's a true freshman, Presley Harrison, who has watched Jordy Fromm win 2 national championships, National Player of the Year awards, National Freshman of the Year awards. Was there somebody your freshman year that you stepped on the field and you're like, oh my goodness, that's this person?
You know, I think that moment happened really for my teammates and being able to play with some of the teammates that I had when I got out there my freshman year. Just the speed of my teammates too, between Raven Siobhan, Kat Dotson, Kelly Grieve, Tori Lewis, Whitney Hammond, so many different players in our lineup that were so fast and so versatile and could do a little bit of everything. I was just really glad they were on my team and I didn't have to defend against them.
Fromm goes down swinging. How about that from the true freshman?
Really impressed with the way that Harrison executed her spots on her pitches. She was working those screwballs on the inner half, and here she looks like she's trying to work that drop ball, but again, it's something different, something new that Jordy Fromm hadn't seen yet. You get them leaning on one side of the plate and then surprise them with the other side, and that's where you get those swings and misses.
That was the 8th pitch. Fromm had fouled off 4 in the at-bat, and the advantage ends up with Harrison. Now Hannah Hammond's in. Couple foul balls from her to fall behind 0-2. Just outside. Two and two.
Nice snag by Sarah Gordon, going up and getting that ball. Popped right up out of the squat.
She was in right field earlier today.
Coach Baldwin said that her and Marissa Miller are going to be splitting time back there behind the plate.
Two lifted in the air, maybe playable. It gets down. Harrison had 3 separate outings on the opening weekend of 3 innings each and struck out at least 4 batters in all of those. And gets another strikeout here. Hammond's in looking.
See her working this pitch about 62 miles per hour, but it's the location that really stands out to me. Comes in right at the knees and stays there, continues to move just a little bit further away from that lefty bat. That's a fantastic spot to put that pitch.
First pitch swinging deep to left field and carrying and gone. Jessie Farrell had seen enough, and it's a solo home run for the Huskers backstop.
Have yourself a day, Jessie Farrell. Double home run in this game. And it's another 2-out run for this Nebraska team. Comes up in the very first pitch that she sees from Presley Harrison. She is all over it. It's another one of those pitches on the inner half of the plate. Looks like that rise ball that she's working in on the hands. Gets barrel out in front. Looks like she was hunting for something on the inner half. Really fun to watch her swing too, because she doesn't have a huge leg kick. She doesn't have a huge stride, but she is just reacting, and there is so much pop in her bat when she makes contact.
Nebraska has now scored in 3 straight innings, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and now 1 in the 5th. There is strike 1 on the inside corner to Cusack. First team All Big Ten last year, hit .412, had 70 hits, 21 home runs, 64 RBIs. That'll do. Two, 1 count. Tell wasn't hit cleanly and fielded up the middle by Digby for out number 3. Solo home run by Farrell, gets one back, bottom of the 5th.
Well, game 4 of the day has finished up over on field 9, and it's LSU with the win over Oklahoma State. And how about Tori Edwards sending that one, an absolute moonshot out to center field for a solo shot, comes back up again in the top of the 3rd inning with the bases loaded and comes through for 2 more RBIs. LSU went on to score 9 runs in that game, Oklahoma State scoring 4, but what a big win for LSU to get things going too.
What's year 2 for Tori Edwards going to look like? Just what she's going to, how she's going to get pitched. It kind of started to change as the year went on last year, but what's she going to deal with this year?
I think that people are still going to try to pitch around her, but that's why it's so important for everybody else in that lineup to be able to step up too. And they've had people step up. Sierra Daniel, Allie Hutchins stepping up too. Macy Bajoran is another one. Alex Franklin had a great first weekend as well. Jayla Lassiter right up there at the leadoff position. So when you go up and down their lineup, there's a lot of batters that you're going, well, I don't want to pitch around her because then I have to face her. And that's exactly the problem you want to have.
Nice play by Cusack on a tough hop, but it is Goodwin who beats it out at first.
Pretty slow developing ground ball here. Takes that second hop, and you see how it doesn't hop up as high. So that ball ended up staying a little bit lower than I would imagine that Ava Cusack thought it was going to bounce. Because of that, kind of took a step back and then fired across the diamond over to first base.
They are going to rule it a single right now.
Take another look here at this play over at first base. We are seeing the safety bag come into play this year. That orange base that's over in foul territory. Let's check out the timing here. Watching it live, I thought that she beat it out. Oh, it looks like she was out there. I don't know about you, Chucky, but to me it looks like that glove is closing around that softball before she touched the base.
I think you're right. Rhonda Ravel, they're pointing at that base, and not sure if she's arguing the call or something with the safety bag and the regular bag. The runner in a play into the field has to use that orange safety bag. Anything kind of in foul territory, the first baseman can take ownership.
And we saw a drop third strike in our game earlier today where the first baseman or whoever's covering first can move over to that safety bag.
The really interesting part about the safety bag, too, is that it disappears after you run through
Yes.
it. You cannot stand on the bag. If you are standing on it alone, and this doesn't apply in this case, but just for educational purposes, if you are just standing on the bag, you could be tagged and be out. Rhonda Ravel still asking for some clarification with Chelsea Clark. And at the moment, it looks like we'll move on, and Jaden Goodwin is at first base.
Oh, that could be the argument there to your point, Chucky, because that base disappears after you go through it.
So I lied. It did apply. It wasn't just
but
educational.
No review here.
We've said, okay, we're getting into the rules a little bit. Some of these new rules. Obstruction, we've already had one of those. And they got it right.
You see how quickly when the coaches start to conference with the umpire, how quickly I pull out my rule book, right?
It looked like Christmas morning for you yesterday when we were handed those envelopes. You said, is my rule book in here?
Fresh new rule book.
Shaking the package. Sounds like a rule book. It's the little things for you. I appreciate it.
It really is.
Yeah. 2-1 count to Tyler Ellison. Ellison going opposite field. Nice grab out and right. That's Casey Hoffman making the play for out number 1. Another opposite field swing, too.
We've been seeing that a lot. Again, I know it's a small sample size for the Georgia Bulldogs so far this year, including last weekend, but you're seeing the righties, a lot of them driving the ball with authority down the right field line. A couple of triples last weekend, 2 off of the wall. But that tells me that they're letting that ball travel in deep.
Sarah Gordon takes strike 1 from Kamenzind. Gordon 2 for 2 and a pair of doubles. Just hitting .611 to start the season. Oh, fooled by that pitch by Hannah Kamenzind.
Good looking off speed away there. Sarah Gordon way out in front on that swing.
Sits on this one and sends it deep to center field. And caught at the wall. Core makes another nice grab. That gets by. Goodwin didn't realize there was backup, but the low throw allows Goodwin to get into second base. Farrell was there, and it was almost textbook from Nebraska, but the low throw.
It's a lot of things to unpack on this play. How many plays up against the wall are we going to see in this invitational? Really nice catch out in center field by Hannah Core, another one, and she fires it into first base. This one goes past Jordy Fromm over to Jessie Farrell, who's in a perfect position, but then the throw over to Cusack. Cusack's not able to secure that one for what looked to be a sure out over at second base.
Two away, 1 strike to Gabby Novickas, who's 0 for 2 at the plate. 1-1. Off speed, Novickas left side, and handled by Bland over at third. Back-to-back scoreless innings for Nebraska in the circle thanks to Hannah Kamenzind. It's just a 2-run game.
It all builds up to this, the Sunday night showcase. When they get going, there's no slowing down. It is time. I can't stop, yeah, I'm out of control. Taking off, yeah, I'm setting the tone.
How about that double header Sunday night? 6 and 8 o'clock on ESPN. Those are 4 of the best teams in the country, some of the best players in the country, and could it be possible that we see Nigeri Kennedy and Jordy Fromm facing off? We can only hope.
A couple of incredible two-way players too. Nigeri Kennedy and Jordy Fromm both hit in the lineup and are outstanding pitchers. Selfishly, I think we'd all love to see that matchup, right?
Love to see Carlin Pickens against that
Absolutely,
Florida State lineup
absolutely.
too. And the staff that Lonnie Alameda has. You always know Lonnie's going to be pulling the strings with that pitching staff. 6th inning. Couple more chances for Nebraska. Emerson Cope leads it off. She's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Fouled straight back. Nebraska has not had a leadoff on in the first 5 innings. 0 for 5 leading off. And 2, and staying alive is Cope.
Couple of strikeouts in this game, as you mentioned, Chucky, but Emerson Cope had a hard line drive straight out to center field in the last game for Nebraska. Just happened to go right to the center fielder.
Two and two. Swing and a miss.
I wanted to go back to that play over at first base in the bottom of the 5th inning just to clean up some things, because we do have that safety base this year. So Jaden Goodwin goes all the way through the base, clearly safe as she goes through first base. Now, as she comes back, when she touches the base here, that's when Jordy Fromm applies the tag. Now, she is safe. She is not out if she does that. However, had she touched the white base and then gone to the orange safety base and then was tagged, then she would have been out. Or after running through the baseline, had she taken a step or two towards second base and then come back to the safety base and then was tagged, she would have been out. But simply going through the safety base and coming back to the safety base, she is not out when she is tagged.
But once the next pitch is being thrown, she has to be on that other base.
Yes, once the ball is in the circle.
Pop up on the infield, 2 quick outs here.
Yeah, so she cannot just hang out on the safety base. As soon as that ball goes back into the pitcher's circle, she has to move over to that white base. But in that instance, when she walked back to the safety base and she was tagged by Jordy Fromm, which is what I'm assuming that Coach Ravel was arguing with the umpires, in that case, she was safe. She was not out on that tag.
Bland pops out. Hoffman into left field. Just had a nice grab defensively and now gets it going with Nebraska's favorite number in the out column, too. Second inning of work for the freshman Presley Harrison. First pitch right back to Harrison. That's how to close out the 6th for the freshman.
How about those reactions for Presley Harrison? This one coming in hot off of the bat, right back to her, throws up that glove, snags it with a big smile on her face and a little ball flip as well to walk it off the field.
70 degrees and beautiful as the sun sets here in Clearwater. Game 5 of 6. One more tonight over on the field behind us, Texas Tech and Northwestern. Matt Schumacher and Amanda Scarborough will have the call on that one to wrap up day 1, and then 13 games each of the next 2 days. Up and in, ball 1. To a pinch hitter at the plate, Emma Castori. Castori started game 1 of the day over at first base and watches the first couple pitches and jumps ahead 2-0. Fans from all over making the trip to watch their teams, to watch these teams in general. One of the interesting things was doing the prep for Nebraska, and this is just, we've had this conversation about the cold weather universities. They play 16 home games. That's it.
It's hard to imagine just 16 home games. Well, especially right now when we're enjoying this beautiful Florida weather.
One thing I know, growing up just a few hours from Lincoln, that is a passionate fan base. So 16 chances to go see Jordy Fromm and this Nebraska Huskers team, and they will do it. I would imagine you're going to see some record crowds at Nebraska this year. This is up the middle, and it is down. Trapped in center field by Core, so a nice job to keep it in front. That is 4 hits in the last 4 at-bats for Castori.
Another really nice play by Hannah Core out in center field. I know this ball drops, but she gets a good read on it, and she's following it all the way into her glove, even reading that bounce too, keeping it in front of her and keeping Castori to just 1 base.
Digby. 2-run shot in the second inning. Grounder, nice play by Kamenzen to second, to first, double play. The pitchers flashing the leather these last couple innings.
I just continue to be impressed with the defense that we're seeing. The 1-6-3 double play, Hannah Kamenzen turning it over to Cusack, who throws it over to Jordy Fromm with a nice stretch over at first base. Already today we've seen so many double plays, at least 4 or 5 plays up against the outfield wall.
Into center field and caught. It is a quick inning, basically 1-2-3 for Kamenzen. It's her sister Lauren, Fromm, and then Hannah up next. Water. It's been the big swing today. Kirsten Roos leading things off. Emily Digby with a 2-run home run. How many plays have we seen at the wall too, which we talked about?
So many good defensive plays, but it's the offense that has really made the difference for Georgia. We saw it at the tail end of game 1 against Oklahoma State, and they carried that right over to game 2 against Nebraska, and those 2 big hits by Roos and by Digby, putting them up early.
The Huskers will feel like they have a great opportunity. 9-1-2, the Kamenzen twins with Jordy Fromm in between them. They have not had a leadoff runner reach. 0 for 6 in the leadoff spot. Ground ball left side, backhanded by Digby, 1 out.
Another play that Emily Digby makes look very routine. She ends up going for the backhand on that ball.
Now batting the first baseman,
Tracks it all the way into her glove for out number 1. Huge, too, to keep a runner off the bases with now Jordy Fromm up at the plate.
Fromm swinging first pitch into right center field, and it bounces off the wall. Extra bases for Jordy, and she wants 3, and she'll get it. First hit in this game gives the Huskers life.
She can truly do it all on the field. Drives this one the opposite way. She struck out in her last at bat on that drop ball away. Gets a pitch that she can drive Oppo into that right center gap, and watch her watch this ball into that gap. She knows right here that she is digging for 3. She does not stop. Dives head first into third base for the first triple of the season for Fromm.
Ball one outside to Hannah Kamenzen, who has come in and locked things down to give the Huskers this opportunity. Georgia hasn't scored since the 3rd inning, 3 straight zeros. Fouled back, 1-1.
Kamenzen struck out in her last at bat against Presley Harrison on one of those screwballs that was low and outside, perfectly located right at the knees. Working back up in the zone. Nice job by Sarah Gordon back behind the plate to go up and get that one.
Presley Harrison trying to get her 2nd career save. Had one on opening weekend. This will be a 3-inning save for her if she can do it. Big pitch there for strike 2. This would be a statement win for the Georgia Bulldogs early in this season. Big time resume builder just in February. Just have to think for Tony Baldwin, it's a chance to point and say, look, it's a top 10 team in the country that you went and beat. If they can hang on, Kamenzen up the middle, and it's a 1-run game.
Kamenzen finds herself in a 2-strike count, had a couple of pitches that were more at the top part of the zone that she was going after. This time, this looks like another one of those rise balls up and away. Instead of trying to pull it to the right side, it looks like she just throws her barrel right at this pitch for a hard line drive back up the middle. Loving Jordy Fromm's reaction to immediately looks over to Hannah Kamenzen over at first base, and they are firing each other up, and now just within 1 run of tying up this ball game.
Tony Baldwin going to make a pitching change, it would appear. Harrison had a really nice outing in relief, but her day is done. The Bulldogs send Ada Little to the circle to try to close it out. Ada Little, who we saw earlier today against Oklahoma State, was really good out of the bullpen. 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 unearned run, a couple walks, and a couple strikeouts. It's a true freshman from Georgetown, Kentucky, who needs 2 outs.
A big moment for her to come in this ball game too. You're going to see her throw in the mid-60s, but her bread and butter to me is that drop ball, just working those pitches down in the zone, trying to get those ground ball outs to go along with it. She does have a curveball, she does have that changeup, but now you're just relying on your defense here. We've seen a lot of those double plays. Double plays are a pitcher's best friend. If you're Ada Little, you are trying to get that ball on the ground, let your defense work, especially knowing who's coming up to the plate right now for Nebraska. Jessie Farrell, every single hit that she has had today has gone for extra bases. She had a double against LSU, and so far in this game, 2 doubles and a home run. This is exactly who Nebraska wants up in this situation.
The go-ahead run is Farrell. She takes ball 1 inside. Georgia led 3-0. And they led 6-2 in this game. Farrell fouls that off of her leg for strike 1. It was something the Bulldogs nearly did to Oklahoma State earlier today. Trailing 6-0 going into the 6th inning, scored 5 in the last 2 frames, but couldn't pull it out. They're hoping Nebraska falls short as well by the same score. Huskers are 4 for 8 with runners on base in this game. That is hit a mile foul. It takes a lot for a righty to pull one onto the other field on this field.
Yeah. She was definitely out in front of that pitch.
2-2 popped up on the infield. Digby for out number 2.
Really great pitch sequencing there too by Ada Little. We saw that long foul ball on that pitch, looked like a curveball in on the hands, and then goes away with the changeup, slows it down, throws it outside to get her to hit that fly ball to the infield.
Comes down to Ava Kuzak. Tony Baldwin is going to send out his pitching coach, Chelsea Wilkinson, to talk to Little. Rhonda Ravel might be coming down to talk to Cusack or might be heading to the dugout. Not a bad option to have Cusack at the plate. 1 for 3 today, but it's just raked since the beginning of last year. Career best last year in all the major categories. Started this inning after the ground out from Cammon's end. It was a triple from Fromm that she came around to score on. Last chance. There is strike 1 to Cusack. Inside, ball 1.
Good location there with that pitch, low and inside. So far today, we've been talking about how productive this offense has been with 2 outs, 5 for 10 with 2 outs, including 3 RBIs.
In the dirt, blocked up. Nice job behind the plate by Gordon to keep that tying run at first.
We've seen Gordon jump up to stop some rise balls from going back to the backstop there. She does a great job on that changeup that misses down in the dirt. Has to adjust over to her right as well to keep that runner over at first base.
Nice spot on the inside corner, strike 2, and Little is a strike away from a massive Georgia win. Low for ball 3. Three-two, inside, ball 4. That is a gutsy take right after that last pitch.
I've got to say, we've got a great view from back here in the booth, and to me, it looked like it was just a little bit too far inside. Not by much, not an easy pitch to take if you're Ava Cusack as well, especially knowing that you're trying to do whatever you can to drive in that run. A really good take, but it's still a good spot for that pitch too. Not a spot that people can do damage on, but it does allow another runner to reach base.
Strike 1, and it is not Emerson Cope coming to the plate. It is Carly Muehlbach, a redshirt freshman from Gretna, Nebraska. High school teammates with Alexis Jensen, the starting pitcher at Gretna High School. Muehlbach entered this invitational 1 for 2 on opening weekend, and that one hit was a home run.
Nebraska at second base, number 18, Nessa McMillan.
Nessa McMillan is running at second base for Nebraska. She is the tying run. Cusack at first. And Carly Muehlbach at the plate. One pitch from Ada Little. Cusack left side under the glove of Lindemuth, and they're going to send the runner. Here's the throw. They got her. Jaden Goodwin with a laser from left. What a finish.
Every year coming into this invitational, I wonder what the theme is going to be. Is it going to be about the pitchers? Is it going to be about the offense? But so far, Chucky, in day one, it has been about the defense. How about this play by Jaden Goodwin out in left field, tracks it into her glove, immediately fires a strike to Sarah Gordon, who applies a great tag. The pinch runner, McMillan, had just come into the ball game, tries to dive around the tag, but Sarah Gordon applies it and then slams that ball straight down into the dirt. Ada Little loves it. What a win for the Georgia Bulldogs in exciting fashion with that incredible defensive play.
They carried the momentum over. They couldn't pull it out against Oklahoma State, but they got it going late in that game and carried it into this one. Georgia back in action tomorrow morning against NC State. For Madison Shipman, Aaron Snyder-Storen, Johnny Hanna, our entire crew, I'm Chucky Kemp. We will see you tomorrow.